Hey, it's Soul, and this is a review of patch 7.3, and I'm going to give it to you in 5 minutes, so let's go. Argus turned out to be pretty decent, considering that it's supposed to be a planet, but it needs to be compressed into just, well, pretty much one zone. So they split Argus into 3 habitable zones, because obviously, well, the whole planet, you can't explore the whole damn thing. I mean, look at it. Krokun is pretty darn small. It's pretty restricted, there's not a lot to explore. And Taurus is kind of the same thing, but it has a lot more secret stuff inside. It's not exactly the terrain that you care about. Well, I guess it's really hard to navigate through the terrain, but there are lots of itty-bitty secrets there, and I guess throughout all the other zones too. Hidden items, things to click on, secret rares, that sort of thing. I do admit that those rares can be pretty tough though. I mean, I like the challenge, once again, I am a tank, but I think this is where item level scaling could have made a good impact, instead of having an even larger gear separation than we have now. Personally, I thought the Praxis was pretty cool, until they nerfed it. What happened to all the players that wanted outdoor content to be dangerous again? Sheesh. Macri or Macari or Macaroni or mac and cheese, however you want to pronounce it. But that I would say is the more lively zone because there are things like water and plant life. So I mean that literally. That, and I think it's cool that it's overlooking the rest of Argus. The mob density is pretty bad, and I'm a tank so I'm doing okay, but as for everyone else, well, they might be having a hard time, especially if you don't have the gear. I love the fact that there are tons of treasures and rares to pick up. I like that there are lots of weapon models that drop from these treasures. Kinda dispels the argument that some people made. Like, oh Blizzard only made artifacts at the very beginning of the expansion and haven't made any since. Well, that's wrong. Of course, you might not like the way how all these cosmetic things look, but oh well. Speaking of cosmetics, there's a ton of them. Armor, weapon, mounts, pets. It's pretty awesome. I like that. I like that reputation means a little bit more with the mounts and bonuses that we get at the end, unlike the stuff on the Broken Isles. But I do think that with regards to the rep gain, it's really imbalanced because of the World Quest content that we're given. On top of that, I do like World Quests a lot, but I really want more variety. It's weird that when I do a world quest just before it expires and then I get a new one, it happens to be the same world quest. This might be because the world quests are unlocking as we do our normal quest, but it's kind of weird. Not being able to fly in Argus kind of sucks, but it does give the zone a kind of flavor. Of course, some of you might think that flavor is doo-doo. At least we get a flight whistle. That unlocks after a few weeks of rep grinding. That part does suck. But I guess this is me acting like a spoiled brat after having a year of the whistle in the Broken Isles. Invasions are mostly what I expected. My favorite one is easily the forest one. I just like big open fields and I think it's a nice change from the rest of what you see in Legion. You know, high density, twists and turns, mountains, stuff like that. The invasion rewards are pretty useful as a catch-up, and it's one of the better ways to get the currency that you need for all that relinquished stuff. Obviously, as of this recording, the dungeon isn't out yet, but I did a little bit of testing on it, and overall it's pretty good. If nothing else, it's nice that Blizzard is just making more dungeons. Whether you like it or not might not be the point. The Netherlight Crucible is going to be pretty useful, as in you don't have to farm the same goddamn instance every time like you have been before this. It's not perfect, but it's better than that. And I think it's not that cool that it's going to take a while to unlock everything that there is for the Crucible. I know that your current artifact knowledge level is going to make a big difference, but for those of us who are playing at the start, it's still going to be a while. Did someone say time gating? Never mind, that word's so overused these days, all I hear is I can't get something right this second? Time gating. Okay, yeah, I know, hyperbole, moving on. And it really doesn't take that long to get the 1950 Veiled Argonite that you need in order to buy 3 relics that you need. So easy access to base relics? Awesome. Randomness? Not so awesome. But at least we have a little bit more control over it. Speaking of Veiled Argonite, the 7.3 catch-ups are awesome. Almost everyone can shut the heck up about Legion being all unfriendly. If you're gonna mention legendaries, fine, you got me. But getting your empowered artifact, the 3 relic slots, global artifact knowledge, unsullied gear, leeching off of invasions, and cherry-picking world quests, getting caught up to your friends and enemies has not been easier. On the PvP side, I'm just kidding. The 7.3 story is unfinished, but we pretty much know everything that's going to happen. It's flawed in my opinion. The Legion doesn't seem as threatening as it used to be. The Titans don't seem to be as awesome as they used to be. I mean, Titans are supposed to be world builders or world destroyers, and now they seem sort of whipped. I don't care that it's been explained away. But if you told my Blood Elf Paladin over in Blood Elf Land that one day he'd be on another planet trading blows with one of the broken spirits of intergalactic deities, he'd probably go, ha, ha, ha. I think I'll just sell glyphs, thank you. I don't know if they're trying too hard with professions in 7.3 or if they're not trying hard enough. The typical armor crafting professions kinda got the shaft. Meanwhile, jewel crafting is laughing all the way to the bank. I do get why there should be brand new materials on Argus, I mean it's a different planet, and it has been interesting seeing just how much money has been changing hands over the past couple of weeks. So in the end, I guess it wasn't such a bad idea to bring in a new basic currency. I just like to see a little bit more being done with it. Like if some of these cosmetic weapons and armor actually just came from recipes from these professions, I think that'd be cool. It could have just been basic catch-up gear, it could be upgraded to 935s like some of them are now, or it could just be totally cosmetic. Nomi totally sucks. Anyway, TLDR, 7.3 is okay, I guess. Just like everything else in WoW, there are things to like and not like. Personally, I like it. There's a lot to explore and you're rewarded for doing it. Mob density can be rough, but that's what the group finder is for, right? I guess I think it's just easy to dive in and have a good time. The flaws of 7.3 don't quite overlap the fact that we just still have a lot of stuff to do. So anyway, that's the review. Like and sub, share your thoughts, and stay breezy.